Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanora Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Tvameva Mata Cha Pitattvameva Tvameva Bandhusya Sakhattvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravidam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Namadeva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Gurudeva Deva. Hari Om. We just started now Yoga Vasistha, and we have taken this text few years ago, and Yoga Vasistha is actually a very big work, close to almost like 30,000 slokas are there, and of that someone has condensed it, call it Laghu Yoga Vasistha, and that itself has around 6,000 verses. And what we are doing is taking a text that is further condensed by Swami Tejamayanji. He has selected around 86 slokas and put it in 7 chapters, and of that he called it as Yoga Vasistha Sara Sangraha. Sangraha means a condensed version of the Sara, the essence of Yoga Vasistha, and the text is available at the Chimay Mission Centers. And even that is 86 is quite big. We took half of it up to 4th chapter in a few years ago in the spiritual camp at Chinmay Mission Washington Regional Center, and the talks are available, both the audio and the video talks. The audio talks are available at Chinmay Mission Washington DC in the website www.chinmayadc.org, and if you go under Acharya's list, under my name there is a list of many talks, and the Yoga Vasistha is also there. There are about 9 talks. It covered in 2 days, where each talk is around 1.5 hours. That was the type of talks that are in the spiritual camp. And we stopped after 4th chapter, and that covers the essence of Yoga Vasistha up to the man of self-realization, or description of the man of self-realization. And here we are going to take now the rest of the chapters that covers the chapter 5, 6 and 7, the 3 chapters. And chapter 5 consists of the stages which Yoga Vasistha, that is Sage Vasistha, tells Lord Rama, who is a disciple, as there are 7 stages of learning process. So after discussing the complete of the self-realization, now how to gain that knowledge is being discussed in terms of stages, and Vasistha classifies in terms of 7 stages, and that is a topic of discussion in the 6th chapter. In the 5th chapter, in the 6th chapter, he discusses about the obstacles for self-realization. So for those who have not realized, what are the obstacles that you encounter as one tries to realize, and that is discussed in the 6th chapter. And in the final chapter, the chapter 6 covers the conclusion part, and in response to the question by the disciples of how did Rama after realization lived through with that knowledge. So it's both for how Rama lived as well as how we should gain that knowledge and attain that state of understanding also. All that is in the concluding part. So we will take each part separately, and here we are going to provide just an introduction in terms of what has been covered up to 4th chapter, so that we can tune our mind into the 6th. The video talks are available on YouTube. If you go to Acharya Sadaji, there is a big list of all the talks. Under that, Yoga Vasistha, where 9 talks are available, and that has been very popular in the in the YouTube. So we will just cover now the basic introductions that are provided in the first four chapters. And the teaching is by the sage, the Vasishta, to disciple Rama before he was going to go with Vishwamitraji and to forest to protect the yajna of Vishwamitra. So this is the incidents where Rama was completely depressed because he wanted to completely withdraw himself so that he can contemplate on the truth. To him is a Vasishta teaches the Yoga Vasistha, and that's what the text is. And in the very first sloka that was provided as the invocation sloka, the whole of the Yoga Vasistha is summarized, and we have done exhaustive analysis. And if you go to the video talks or the audio talks, the first talk is essentially taking the first sloka, which is essentially invocation sloka, but the invocation sloka itself summarizes the whole the Yoga Vasistha in a condensed form. We just take that as a summary statement so that we can tune our mind so that we can proceed further. And the sloka is also invocation, which we will chant every day with that sloka. It says, Yatas sarvani bhutani, Yatas sarvani bhutani, pradibhanti stitani cha, pradibhanti stitani cha, yatraivopashamam shanti, yatraivopashamam shanti, tasmai satyatmane namaha, tasmai satyatmane namaha. Together. Yatas sarvani bhutani pradibhanti sisani cha, yatraivopashamam shanti, tasmai satyatmane namaha. This is an invocation that is done to introduce the topic, the text. It says, tasmai satyatmane namaha, that satya atmani namaha. So to that I am prostrating that myself. Namaha means namaskar purva, the Mangala Charanam sloka here, where to that I am prostrating. To what? To that Satya Atmani, that which is essentially a pure, of the nature of pure existence, and that is also the absolute truth, and that is the Atma. That is the pure self that I am, or pure self, that to that I am prostrating. Who is prostrating? Not the Atma, it is the mind of the composer prostrating, or the mind of the teacher, or the mind of the student is prostrating to that which is pure self. And what is the nature of the self is being defined in the previous aspects. Yataha sarvani bhutani, all beings from which they arise, pratibhanti stitani cha, and the sarvani bhutani pratibhanti, where they are illumined by all beings are being illumined. Not only bhutani means panchabhutas, as well as all the living or non-living entities. So it covers both the gross world as well as the subtle world, and from where this whole universe arose essentially, and stitanicha, by which it is sustained, and yatropashamam shanti, into which it dissolves. So to that Atma, means Atma is that which is Sat Swarupam, and from that the whole universe came, and by which it is sustained, into which it goes back. And that's how the Brahman has been defined in the scriptures. Yatova imani bhutani jayante, yena jatani jivanti, yat prayam cha visham vishanti, tat vijnasasva, tat brahmeti. That is Brahman, and that infinite Brahman is nothing but Satya Atmani. So the definition which is called a Tadastha Lakshanam, an incidental qualification to define what is Brahman, Adado Brahma Jignasa, then therefore inquire into Brahman. Then therefore means having acquired the required qualifications, inquire into the Brahman. And what is the Brahman? Janma Jasya Yataha, that which are the Janma Adi, Janma, Sthiti, Laya. Together that means this is a cyclic process of the creation, sustenance and annihilation, and again creation. So there is no beginning for it. It is a cycle, and to that I am prostrating. So from which the whole universe rose, by which it is sustained, into which it goes back. That is called Brahman, and that is called here Atma. So Satya Atmani, to that Atma, to that self. So here the statement is, from the self itself the whole universe came, by which it sustained, into which it goes back. The self that we are talking about is the absolute self, that is the self that is of the nature of Satchidanandam, because the scripture says from Sat alone the whole universe came, by which it sustained and into which it goes back, and that is Brahman. So in the invocation sloka, the whole Yoga Vasistha is summarized, that is to that Atma, that is what we are prostrating, and that's what is self-realization, is recognition that I am the source of the whole universe, I am the source that sustains the whole universe, and into me it goes back. To that Atma I am prostrating. That is the first sloka of the Yoga Vasistha that we covered. And in the next sloka, the Vasishta provides the qualifications of the student, and here this is the verse 2 in the text. Aham baddhaha vimuktaha syam, aham baddhaha vimuktaha syam, iti yasta asti nischayaha, iti yasyasti nischayaha, nityanantam ajnaha, nityanantam ajnaha, nat ajnaha saha asmin shastre adhikaravan. So here it's essentially I'm just putting in a bits of words. Aham baddhaha vimuktaha syam iti. So this is a qualification of a student who should study this. Who has to study? The one who recognizes first that I am baddhaha. That means I am bound. I means I am in bondage. And vimuktaha syaditi, and I want to get liberated. So there are two qualifications here. He has to recognize that I am in bondage and I need liberation. And this nischaya, form determination in these two. So most of the people they are not even recognize that they are in the bondage. They think they are already free. So they are talking about freedom, freedom of this, freedom of press, freedom of all the freedoms and political freedoms and all that, but all that freedoms are still bondage according to Vedanta, because you are bound with the notion that I am this, because you are taking yourself as a limited entity and suffering as a consequence of that. So desha kala vastu parichinnatvam is a bondage. So I think I am bound because I am limited by space-wise, time-wise, object-wise. Therefore, I don't like the limitations because I am taking myself as I am this. That's what is ahankara. Ahankara is ego. Ego involves I am this. That's why people have, you know who I am? I am this. All this is what I am. But I cannot be this, because that's a bondage, because I do not know who I am. Because I am a subject and this is an object. I cannot be an object, and therefore I have problem of subject-object duality, which the Vasishta is going to point out as a fundamental problem. And that I am baddhaha, and that is the bondage, because the bondage is the notion that I am this, and that is ahankara, that is ego, and therefore since I am this, I am not that. And I want that also to be included. So I'm going for that, and the whole rat race of the whole life is trying to gain that. And that can be an object, or it can be a position, it can be wealth, it can be continuously struggle for gaining more and more of that. Why? Because I want to reach infinity by the process of adding that. And you can never solve that problem, because recognizing I am a finite one and I want to reach infinite by acquiring this, acquiring that, and once I acquire, I got it, that is mine, this is mine, that is mine, so that becomes a mamakara. So ahankara and mamakara becomes two aspects of the bondage, and I will never solve this problem, because however much I gain, I still gets limited, because finite plus finite can never become infinite. So the struggle goes on, not only in this life, in the previous lives we have been going on, and it will continue go on forever until I realize that I am bound by this process and I want to get liberated from this cycle of the birth and death cycle. And who is the one who is qualified? The one who recognizes that I am baddha and I want to get liberated. And what is my true nature? Aham nityanantam ajnaha. And I do not know what is that which is eternal and that which is infinite, and I have no knowledge of that. He is the one who is seeker and wants to know it, and since he doesn't know that, he wants to gain the knowledge. And tad vijnana artham sa gurumeva abhigachet. So says, for that knowledge only approach a teacher. So once who knows that I am bound, and once who wants to get liberated, and wants to understand that I have not understood that I am anantam, means I am infinite. If he is already understood, there is no reason for him to be bound also. So nitya anantam ajnaha, not knowing the absolute truth, and na tagnaha saha asmin shastri adhikaravan. Neither at the same time he knows enough to inquire. If he doesn't know anything, completely ignorant of this, people live without knowing who it is, what is that, and whole life they spend and trying to acquire this, and one day kick the bucket. And they not even interested to know even. But one is interested enough that because he knows enough of it to inquire further, at the same time he doesn't know completely, to that he is the one who is qualified to study this. That's why Vasishta tells he is the one who is a seeker and who can study the scriptures and gain the knowledge. And there it says there are qualifications, further qualifications, and he should have this, essentially the fourfold qualifications that Vasishta talks about in the chapters is shama, that is the controlling of the mind, and vicharaha, inquiry, that is required, and contentment, trupti, therefore is happy with whatever he has, so that the mind is not going after for objects. So contentment with the pursuit of objectively objects, so therefore mind can turn its attention to the inquiry. So that is what is required. If he is running around outside all the time, his mind is not available for Vedanta. So Krishna says, Manushyanam sahasreshu yaschit yatati siddhaye yatatata siddhanam kaschin mam meti tattvataha. Thousands of people are even listen to this, but at the same time very few really approach, because they are all looking for outside, trying to get happiness, and they want more and more and more, so they are not even interested in this. So one contentment of what you have is enough, and I want to turn my attention because Lord has given me enough. There is no point of trying to acquire more and more and more. What is enough for me? I have a shelter, I have a food, and I have a mind, a capable mind, and that's enough for me to contemplate. That is the contentment. And the fourth requirement is satsang. Satsang means satsangatve nissangatvam, nissangatve nirmohatvam, nirmohatve nischalatatvam, nischalatatve jivan mukta. Says Shankara, says satsanga will give you detachment, nissangatvam. Nissanga, it says nirmohatvam, delusion will go away, and the delusion goes away, one realizes. So a primary requirement is association with the good. Good includes both the people, that means the Mahatmas, as well as the good books also, and that becomes a Sat. So these are the 4 requirements that are helpful. They call gateways or the gatekeepers for the self-realization. One is the Shama. Shama includes Shamadhi Shatka Sampatti, discipline of the mind, and Vicharaha, inquiry, the Viveka, and Viveka includes Vairagya and all other things, and contentment, therefore a mind which is free from longing and which can turn its attention to higher knowledge, and finally the association with the good. These are the 4 requirements that was discussed by Vasistha, and we have elaborately discussed in our previous talk series. And in the last 4th chapter, the Vasistha talks about what are the characteristics of a realized master. A realized master is one who is serene and equanimous. That means samatvam is there. So Krishna calls her or is samatvam yoga uchyate. Samatvam means vidya vinaya sampanne brahmane gavihastini sunischayava subhakaicha panditaha samadarsanaha. One who sees whether it's a great scholar or a cow or an elephant or a dog or even a dog eater, one who sees the same samatvam, and he's called a panditaha, and he looks at how can they be same? They are different things. They are different at a superficial level, but the essence is the same. From the point of essence, because Lord says Ishvara Sarvabhutanam Uddesh Arjuna Tishtati. So Ishvara is sitting in everyone as the essence. So if my vision is not on the superficial names and forms, but essence is nothing but the Lord Himself, and my vision is on the essence, therefore I have equanimity from that point. That means one who sees oneness that pervades the whole universe, and that is the one who is a realized master in spite of differences. That's why it's called non-duality. In spite of duality, that's only one Advaita, that is one that pervades the whole thing, and that vision is called Advaitic vision, and that is the universal vision, and that's what Krishna calls it Samatvam. That equanimity of the vision is the essence of a realized master. So he transacts with the world just as before. So all the raga dveshas and all that at the mind level is there, although they are calmed down because of he has already Shama, Adi, etc. Discipline of the mind is there. So therefore he is not longing for anything. At the same time, the body, mind, intellect, because of the way before he realized he was a regular jiva and sadhaka, so the discipline and also prior likes and dislikes, they all will remain with the body, mind, intellect. But even though he will be expressing emotions and all that like any other person, at the same time he is serene. That means internally he is not unperturbed. That's what Krishna calls as Dukkeshu Anudvignamanaha Sukeshu Vividasproha Vitaraga Bhayakrodaha Sitadhir Muninuchyate. So he is the one who is Sitadhihi, that means Sita Prajnaha, and he doesn't get up and down. He transacts and also acts like one, but internally he is serene, contented. So the behavior is resembling like anybody else, but at the same time his mind is always reveling. That's why yogaratova, bhogaratova, sangaratova, sangavihinaha. Yasya brahmani ramate chittam nandati nandati nandacheva. He may be looking like a yogi or a bhogi or with the company, without company, depending upon what the likes and dislikes of that body, mind, intellect are. But he himself is every time, all the time, reveling in Aham Brahmasmi. I am that Brahman that pervades the whole universe. This is only a natakam, or the play of at a superficial level. He will play just like anybody else, and from other people they won't realize that his mind is somewhere else. At the same time they think he is also like us, but he is only superficially like us, but internally he is reveling in Brahman. And the most important thing is there is no doership involved. That means even though he acting like anybody else, he says, Agartaham, Abhoktaham, Ahami So I am never a doer nor an enjoyer, in spite of the fact that the body, mind, intellect are acting all the time and enjoying as though, but at the same time he doesn't act, he doesn't enjoy also. So Krishna himself, he says he married 16,000 wives, but one of the names of Krishna in the Ashtottarama is Anadi Brahmacharine Namaha. He is the eternal bachelor. How can he be bachelor with marrying so many 16,000 wives? Says that's only superficial level. Substantively, he is all alone. And for him, this is eternally bachelor, because there is no one else to relate to. There is no bondage, there is no bandha and sambandha also. Sambandha is relationship. So there is a story that when bondage was created by the Lord Brahmaji, the bondage wants to know where he can reside, and he says, try to find out a place. So it went everybody, but nobody wants bondage. So it went back to Brahmaji and says, nobody wants me, what should I do? Where should I stay? He says, you don't go as a bondage, you change your vesham and disguise yourself and then approach everybody. So he disguised as, what is it? As a sambandhi, not bandhi, sambandhi, and it means relationship. So all relationship involves a duality. That means seers in duality comes into picture, and that can be a bondage if I don't see the oneness that pervades the seer and the seen. So that's essentially bandham. And in the Vasishta says, in fact, Yasmin no dvijate lokaha, lokan no dvijate bhayaha, harsha marsha bhayon muktaha, sajivan mukta uchyate. This is from the Yoga Vasistha. Says, except the first line is more like Bhagavad Gita sloka, where it says harsha marsha, instead of bhayod vegaihi mukta yasacha me priyaha. In the 12th chapter, Krishna says essentially yasmin no dvijate lokaha, lokan no dvijate vayaha, harsha marsha bhayod vegaihi mukta yasacha me priyaha. He is my priyaha. So that statement comes from Krishna, but here instead of sasame priyaha, he says sajivan muktaha uchyate. He is called jivan muktaha. Yasmin no dvijate loka. So for him there is no other loka, neither world fears him nor he is afraid of the world. So means when he sees only himself in everywhere, the self that means sarva bhutastam atmanam sarva bhutani jamatmani. He sees himself everywhere and everything in himself. So what is afraid of? You are not afraid of yourself, you are afraid of something other than yourself. Didi yadvo bhayam bhavati, says Upanishad. Any speck of difference, udara mantaram kurute, atadasya bhayam bhavati. Any speck of difference causes a problem, but you are only one. There is no real entity other than you. So therefore, you are not afraid of yourself, not a world which is also you only afraid of you. So yasmin no dvijate lokaha, lokan no dvijate bhayaha, harsha marsha bhayo muktaihi. So free from either ups and downs, says dukkeshu anudvignamanaha, sukeshu vigata. Either some happiness comes, you don't get excited, or depressed when something comes. Coming only at the body, mind, intellect, because you are always eternally happy. And that is the stages of the realized master, where he acts at the same time he doesn't act. So it says karmani akarmayah pasyetu, because he understands that praguchevacha karmani kriyamanani sarvacha. All activities are done by the prakriti and not by him. So even though body, mind, intellect are acting, he doesn't act. That understanding is what a realized master is. And with that, the first part was over, that we have covered. Now we will be taking from the next talk on the second part, where Vasishta starts with the seven stages for gaining knowledge, which help for realization. So knowledge is the essential means for realization, because ignorance is the cause of a problem, and ignorance can only be removed by knowledge. And knowledge, to gain that knowledge, not any other knowledge, is a knowledge of the absolute truth. And the Vasishta talks about the 7 steps in the process, and we'll go through that as the 7 steps of self-realization. And in this following chapter, we'll talk about what are the obstacles involved and conclude the text with the last chapter. With this, we'll stop here and we'll continue from next talk on with the Yoga Vasistha 2, where we'll discuss about the 7 steps involved in gaining the knowledge. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.